What's up everyone, V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Spider-Man from Spider-Man Brand New Day, a movie I am beyond excited for. It's been a minute since I've been this excited for a movie. I don't know, I haven't felt the hype for a movie in a hot minute. But this movie's got me hyped. I was mistakenly led to believe by my own stupidity that it was coming out in the beginning of July, not the very last day of July. So that was a little heartbreaking, but that I gotta hold off another month. But I am so pumped. Might be a bold statement, but from what I've seen, this has the potential to possibly be the best Spider-Man movie. I'm not even gonna lie. Spider-Man never misses. But this one just looks like it's just got a different type of sauce, different type of flavor to it. I don't know, just everything about it seems like it was made with such passion and love that there's no way it's not peak. Like, it genuinely looks like it's going to be phenomenal. And this is Spidey as he appears in the movie, kind of. Um this high key is mostly just the final swingsuit No Way Home figure with a few tweaks, but also that is just kind of what the suit in the movie is. Thank God. I was worried. They cooked up that phenomenal suit at the end of No Way Home, and I lived in fear that they were going to completely get rid of it and do something completely different. But luckily, this suit not only is pretty much as perfect as that last suit, it in fact improves upon most gripes I had with the final swingsuit, which I'll get into in a minute. But before we talk about this figure, which that made it, I started that like it was. I was gonna say it's really bad, but it's not. A figure which is I was very cautious for, and again I'll get into that in a moment. But the box is actually a box this time. If you recall, if you bought some of the No Way Home figures, you'll remember that those were carded figures, which were kind of cool, but also As I feel like they were just doing so many carded figures at that time that I was kind of carded out, and the packaging looked exactly the same. I mean, the Brand New Day packaging is probably gonna look exactly the same too, but just it's not as much as a box versus a card. That probably made no sense. But you got Spider-Man, Brand New Day, Marvel Studios, Spider-Man, Marvel Legends, Morning, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. No, that's Marvel Legends. Cool little shot of Spidey on the side, and on the back, got a nice shot of Spidey jumping, with Spider-Man is back in action, keeping New York City safe. An anonymous hero and brilliant scientist, Peter Parker creates technology to build his own suit. So just the most vague, nothing bio. If you've never heard of Spider-Man a day in your life, that would probably be shocking to you, but if not, that's basically just known information. But bringing in Spidey, get him to stand. Like I said, this is pretty much just a retool of this figure with a few tweaks. And I say I was cautious for this figure because this figure, in theory, is phenomenal. In practice, trash. It's kind of like how this Iron Man figure was, where it looks phenomenal, but then you mess with it and then it sucks. Except this one's good. This one actually is fun. This is the re-release they did, and that weird re-release line that Marvel Legends has. But the original version of this figure was trash. It was abysmal. This one, so far, holds up and is actually still fun. But this one was littered with QC issues. If you recall, I think this one, yeah, I believe this one was the one that I glued, so I don't think his hips dropped down. But just see in there, probably can't, but just see how that's stressed. Because he has the drop down hips. The drop down hips were just breaking. It broke on this figure and the Toby figure I had to rebuy those. Luckily, Garfield, he was alright. But the single carded, for some reason, like the 3-pack versions didn't break. I don't know why. I don't know. But yeah, these guys were, especially this guy, was littered with QC issues. That and this right here kept breaking on people because it was just tight, and then this would snap. And you just hear how tight that is. Ugh. And I think it has to do with a little bit of plastic as well, because he's got this like very marbly blue plastic. Which I don't know if that's on the arms, but still. A cool looking figure, but just, ugh. Not fun to mess with. So when this guy was announced, I lived in hope and fear, because the figure looks great. Like, this looks like a good figure. It's just not fun to mess with. So when he was announced, I was hopeful but afraid. There's a train. The trains never run any other time except when I hit record on the video, I swear to God. Because I was like, are Hasbro gonna fix the QC issues on this guy? Because if not, this figure's gonna be buns. Its figure's gonna be trash. I mean, that other one's QC issues were so bad, I just took its head, put it on this figure, and this was just my Spidey. Because I do love that head, and it's the best Tom Holland Spidey head, masked head that we've gotten. All the other ones don't look anything like him. They're not shaped right. The eyes look weird. I don't know. But so far, I can say, granted I've only had this figure a couple days, because I got it on my birthday. But so far it actually holds up. I've been posing him and I haven't been afraid. Like, see that? It's more about the feel, but turning that nice and smooth versus turning this, you just hear it. It feels like it's gonna snap. You can feel the peg turning and not just a nice smooth motion. But that's fixed, or at least it's just better here. But as far as I can tell, the drop down hips feel perfectly fine. They look fine. I don't know if they did anything, or maybe this figure's just, the plastic's better on this guy. I don't know what, but this figure holds up. And thank God, because this figure is awesome. I loved the look of this figure, and I was like, imagine this figure, but you aren't afraid it's gonna break. That's basically what this figure is. This figure's a blast, and they did update a few things. I believe the only new parts are definitely the torso and abs. And I want to say the belt might be, like the crotch piece might be the same. I think the entire body is new, but head, arms, and legs, I believe, are reused from this guy. Which, granted, aside from the arms, weren't really the problem. I think it's mostly the joints in here. So hopefully whatever they did in the body fixed everything. And hopefully these arms don't break. Because again, this figure looks great. But before we get into that, let's talk about the accessories. Because I almost forgot. He comes with 2 little web pieces. Do we ever care for the web accessories? I personally don't, but I'm not like a diorama person. They do have these little clips. They don't really clip onto him. So I don't really know what they're supposed to clip onto, but they got clips. It's helpful. And by some mystical being, he comes with an alternate fist, an alternate thwip, and 2 wall-crawling hands. Hasbro's actually given us all the hands. You never know with a Spider-Man release. They just be dodgy and just out of nowhere just won't give you matching hands. But we do get matching hands this time, which is great, and they look really nice. They also might just be reused from the last Spidey, and I think he came with all the hands, so I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a minute. One thing we don't get is an unmasked head, which is heartbreaking, but the last one did come with an unmasked head. I'm going to try to swap it. I don't have that one's head, but I have Peter Parker, and I believe it's the same head. So I'm going to try to swap them. I assume they'll work because it's the same head. So if you do want... Does that ride a little high? I'm not sure, but you can get him with an unmasked head. Wish they gave us a new one because this one looks very young. This looks like a 14-year-old Peter Parker when our Peter Parker is well into his 20s. It also has like a completely different hairstyle. I don't know. I wish they would just give us one because that's not a bad Tom Holland likeness. It's just it looks too young. I want a more mature, modern Peter Parker head. But you know, it's a valid complaint. He should have come with a unmasked head. I don't know why. That's my biggest complaint. But to be fair, they were also very lenient. Lenient? Is that the right word? They didn't really give Peter Parker a lot of unmasked heads until that one. Because I feel like for the most part, they just never gave live-action Spidey alternate heads until No Way Home. Anyway, I've yapped for long enough. Let's actually take a look at this figure. Taking a look at the head sculpt, I love this head sculpt for Spidey. I think it looks great. It's not particularly accurate to the movie because Tom Holland's Spidey's had this very round, masked look the entire time. Except for this movie. This movie, that's when he actually has a bit more narrowness because I feel the face shell is a bit different. But this still looks great. And I do love this head sculpt. Again, I loved it so much I took it off and put it on this Spidey. Yeah. And, he's got the nice texture throughout and slightly, it's not too crazy because, again, it's not crazy in the movie, but raised webbing with it all painted as well. Glory days. I was going to say bring this guy up, but he actually does have the webbing painted on the figure. But it did kind of suck those, like, times where you didn't get the webbing painted, but I'm glad we're in that now. Looks really cool. Come down to the chest. This is where the biggest thing is that they changed, or most notable thing that they changed, for the better, design-wise. I hated how the suit went like bang, bang, bang. I love that they changed it to the bang and then just straight down, more akin to Andrew Garfield's Spidey's look. I'm gonna grab this one because it's a lot easier to see. Because they're trying to keep that like vibe that like the MCU Spidey's had, but that's just because there's like that, but then like the black line that would curve down, so that's why it was bending weird. So I kind of hated that it just had this weird like diamond-esque shape in the middle, so I'm glad it just goes straight down on the new Spidey design. And it looks good, and I feel like the spider is more noticeable on this one as well. I feel like they painted the webbing thinner. I feel like it's very thick on this guy. I feel like it's thinner, more subtle on this guy, which is nice. And it's pretty much just classic Spidey. I don't believe the blue has any texture, but the red has a slight texture, which I love. Spidey logo on the back is a bit different as well. Because again, I think this was just like a design they had for just like classic look he wears. You don't even really get a proper look at it in the movie. Whereas this is like his main movie look. And I liked some of the Tom Holland suits. I love the red and black suit. I'll defend that one till I'm dead. That's my... Ugh. Until this one, I said it was probably my second favorite live-action Spidey suit. But I'm so glad he's got the classic look. I just wish they gave him the classic spider logo on the back. I don't know why live-action Spideys are allergic to having this spider. But still looks great. Paint job looks great. Again, there's nothing much else to talk about. It's just the classic Spidey design. And again, most of this is just reuse from this figure. So if you have this figure, you pretty much know what this is going to be, except it's going to be better because it improves, at least for how mine's moving. on everything. One thing I will say, doesn't improve upon the color. This is very bright figure, very muted colors on this one. Is that a fly flying around my room? Oh my god. Which I guess kind of vaguely matches at least the color palette of the movie. I don't know. I feel like a lot of shots are a bit darker, a bit grayer. But I feel like they went a little overboard, especially with the blue. The red can handle, but the blue is really dark. Because again, just bringing this guy over. And like Garfield's Spidey was very dark shade, but like they're almost on par with each other. Like it's very like dark navy blue, and it is way brighter in the movie, so it does kind of suck that this again might be concept art, I'm not sure. But like hell, even like the basic toy has a brighter blue. But yeah, that's probably my only complaint with the figure. No alternate head, and the blue especially, but the colors could be brighter. But honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. Because honestly, I've been having a blast with this guy. Let's see how he poses. They actually changed one thing about the head sculpt, about the articulation, which most people dislike, but I like. They got rid of the dumbbell joint that was on his head and replaced it with a ball hinge. And I just prefer ball hinges because just look, he looks up so much higher. Like, yeah, you can't get a more natural side to side, but like, for a character like Spidey, he needs to be able to look up well. And look at that. That looks great. Can look down pretty well. Rotates. Still got a little bob. Butterfly joint, which moves really nice, especially back. So you can kind of get that like Garfield-esque. Like, it's like falling from the sky in the beginning. Arm moves out that far. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, little tight. Don't like how tight that is, especially with the the bicep. Again, hopefully not this version, but the previous version did break, so just be a little wary. Rotation, hinge in and out on all the hands. Got the diaphragm ab crunch, which moves decently back. Pretty good forward. Is that more than the other one? Yeah, he gets in there further than this guy, which is nice. Then he has drop down hips, which makes him kick that far forward, not really far back. Booty's in the way. Can do the splits decently well. Again, it's odd that Spidey figures can ever have like phenomenal splits. And also be warned, when you bring it in back from the split, the hip's going to be down, so you're going to need to push it back up. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, almost at elbow. And then a up and down and a rocker. So, again, the exact same articulation as that previous Spidey. And honestly, most Spideys nowadays. If this isn't like the articulation on a modern Spidey, then it's like, what are we doing? Again, most people prefer the dumbbell. I do not, so this is a marked improvement. Honestly, everything about this figure has improved it so much. And honestly, again, just messing with it just in this video, because I haven't messed with it too much, because again, I've only had it for like 2 days. But I'm loving it. Especially since like I wanted to love this figure so much, but he had so many issues, that being able to get a better version of this figure, again, it's how I felt when I got the re-release of this guy, where it's like, oh my god, he doesn't suck now. But how does he compare? And be warned, I have a lot of comparisons for this video. This video is running longer than I wish it would. I try to cut my videos shorter, but then I end up yapping for too long. But for the basics, how's he compared to a Black Series and a Transformer? Here he is next to Commander Cody. And Voyager class Sky Warp, whom I just picked up. Video coming soon. And for some bigger guys, here he is next to... Did I not grab the NECA? Lord! I am not running a professional setup here. What are we doing? Here he is next to the NECA Pennywise in the ZD Toys. Is it ZD Toys or Fonjoy? My bad. Although, are they the same company? I don't know. This Superman, because I hate the McFarlane one. Now, for just a bunch of comparisons, but for a fun little one, the previous review, Skeletor, and because I have him on hand, He-Man, who will probably be the next video. Now let's just bust out a bunch of these comparisons. Again, mentioned that Iron Man. Here he is next to Wolverine as well. These three in their classic looks. Spidey looks so small next to them all. It's funny because Wolverine should be like the same height, but you know, he isn't. Then here he is next to Daredevil and Punisher. Don't believe I've actually made a video on that Punisher, but I've definitely made one on the Daredevil. It's going to be fun seeing them interact. Haven't actually watched Daredevil, so I don't know how Punisher be moving, but it's going to be fun seeing them interact with each other. Here is Spidey next to Ned and MJ. Not the best Zendaya likeness. Would be kind of cool to get a new one, but also that's going to be a peg warmer. Glad we at least have them, though. Glad they did make those. And Parker himself. Now for just hella Spideys, because I got hella Spideys next to me right now. I'm trying to think about how I'm going to want to do this. Now let's just run back the classics. Here he is next to Toby and Andrew. Oh, I do wish, it is sad, it was great seeing them three together, but I do wish he had a classic suit like this that matched them in the movie, because these three together would have looked elite. And also lighter color. Garfield. As the re-release one they did. Never reviewed it. Thought about it, but then just never got to it. Then here he is next to this guy, who I mentioned before, and my slightly modified McFarlane Spidey. Not McFarlane Toys, but it's the McFarlane Spider-Man, but Marvel Legends. It's probably not needed to be explained at all, but like, I don't know. The way I said it, I feel like gave like it was, because I mentioned McFarlane earlier. Anyway. Finally, here he is next to other versions of this pretty much similar design. Here he is next to the SH Figure Arts, that previous Marvel Legends, and the basic figure toy from Brand New Day, which I might do a review on. I got that 3-pack for my birthday, and they're dumb fun, but I like them. I love them. So yeah, look at all these guys. All the exact same design, but like none of them are colored the exact same at all. I do love this blue on him though. I know people didn't care for the blue, but I love the blue on that guy. So yeah. Ran a bit later than I hoped. But do I recommend this Brand New Day Spider-Man? Hell yeah. It's the only one, because again, like, there's only two classic, like, suit Spideys of Tom Holland in the MCU, and they're pretty much the exact same figure, just this one doesn't suck. They managed to hopefully improve upon every flaw with this guy. Again, the arm issue isn't a problem on him, and as far as I can tell, the hips aren't a problem either. This guy, absolutely solid. Marked improvement. The only complaints I got are wish he had a Tom Holland head sculpt, and wish the colors were a bit brighter, but honestly, I can live with the colors. The head sculpt's the only thing that really irks me, but besides that, phenomenal figure. Solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoy it. I definitely recommend it. Anyway, like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. Gonna try to squeeze in a lot of Spidey vids this month. I always say that and then I like record one and then disappear, but unlike, because I said I was gonna do that for May, for like May the 4th, I'm gonna do a bunch of Star Wars reviews, and I did one, but this is different. This is Spidey, and also I do have a genuine good amount of stuff I can review, and hopefully I can find that Hulk. Haven't been able to find Hulk yet, unless you count this guy. But yeah, next review probably gonna be He-Man, but then everyone after that, it's gonna be some Spidey. It's gonna be a lot of Spidey, so lock in, you know. Anyway, again, like, subscribe. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Hopefully your life is not like Peter Parker's. Hopefully you're not broke, sad, alone, no friends, no loved ones, stuck looking at your ex who doesn't remember you, you know. But ain't he just like me for real? You know what I mean? Anyway, peace.